A tragic shooting near an Israeli embassy event in D.C., a high-stakes House vote on Trump's sweeping new bill, a deadly jet crash in San Diego, and an unprecedented federal action against Harvard. There's a lot happening in the news today. And here's today's trivia question. What do you call a group of porcupines? The answer is adorable and yet so factual at the same time. I'll tell you the answer at the end of the show. It's Friday, May 23rd. This is the Flyover Podcast. Welcome to the Flyover Podcast, taking you above the noise for an unbiased, high-altitude view of today's headlines with daily coverage that's honest and refreshing. Let's cruise the news and land the facts. Good morning and happy Friday. I'm Ayla Brown, and as we head into Memorial Day weekend, we're thinking of the brave men and women who gave everything for our country. Let's start your day with the top headlines across America. We begin in Washington, D.C., where two Israeli embassy staffers were shot and killed Wednesday night outside the Capitol Jewish Museum. The victims, Sarah Lynn Milgram, 26, and Yaron Lishinsky, 28, were reportedly attending an event focused on Gaza humanitarian assistance when they were shot by Elias Rodriguez, a 30-year-old man from Chicago. Witnesses say Rodriguez shouted, quote, "Free Palestine" at the scene. He was arrested immediately, and federal authorities are now investigating potential links to terrorism. Milgram was known for her interfaith diplomacy work and had earned 2 master's degrees in peace studies. The couple was reportedly just days away from getting engaged. In Washington politics, House Republicans have narrowly passed President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act with a 215 to 214 vote late Thursday night. The sweeping bill includes major tax cuts, increased funding for border security, and tighter work requirements for Medicaid and food stamps. Republicans are celebrating the win as a fiscal reset, while Democrats argue the bill will harm low-income families. The package now moves to the Senate, where it's expected to face tough negotiations. And finally, a tragic story out of San Diego. A Cessna 550 jet crashed into a residential neighborhood in Tierra Santa early Thursday morning, killing multiple passengers and setting at least 15 homes on fire. The plane had departed from Teterboro, New Jersey, with a stop in Wichita before its final leg to Montgomery-Gibbs Executive Airport. It went down just before 4 a.m. in dense fog, scattering debris and jet fuel across the area. So far, no serious injuries on the ground have been reported, but about 100 residents, many from military families, have been evacuated, and the National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigation. Here's what's happening in the world of politics. The Supreme Court split 4-4 on a major case out of Oklahoma, where justices were asked to decide whether taxpayer funding could be used for a religious charter school. Justice Amy Coney Barrett recused herself, leaving the tie in place, which means the lower court's decision stands. And for now, public funding for religious charter schools is not allowed in the state. In Washington, a federal judge has blocked President Trump's executive order to dismantle the Department of Education, ruling that the move overstepped executive authority. The judge also ordered the reinstatement of hundreds of employees who had been laid off when the department was shut down earlier this year. The administration says it plans to appeal. In a rare and dramatic step, the Department of Homeland Security has pulled Harvard University's ability to enroll foreign students under the student visa program, citing what it called, quote, pro-terrorist conduct during recent campus protests. This means Harvard will not be allowed to accept international students for the 2025-2026 academic year, a move likely to spark major legal challenges and public backlash. And finally, the Justice Department is ending its investigations into the Minneapolis and Louisville police departments, the two forces that became national flashpoints after the deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor in 2020. The department says it will no longer pursue lawsuits or consent decrees, though watchdog groups argue that systemic reforms are still urgently needed in both cities. We are brought to you by Picasso. Let me put this simply and put it into perspective. Picasso's backed by heavy hitters like SoftBank and Maveron, the same VCs that backed companies like eBay and Allbirds. So why are they investing? Because Picasso, started by Zillow's co-founder, is changing the way people buy second homes. It's already done over $1 billion in real estate transactions, and the momentum is global. Record sales in Paris. They've got 8 homes in Cabo, and they just closed their most expensive home yet in London. No wonder gross profit grew 41% in 2024. So the opportunity for you? You can invest now at just $2.80 a share. This isn't a crypto token or some vaporwave idea. It's real equity in a real venture-backed company. But again, the price changes on May 29th. That's only a few days away. Head to Picasso.com/theflyover to get the full picture and to make your move before that date. Again, that's PACASO.com/theflyover. Coming up, an NBA star just landed the league's highest honor and maybe a $380 million payday. Melania Trump is speaking in multiple languages thanks to AI, and Netflix finally revealed its most watched shows ever. It's all coming up after finance. Time to check in on what's happening in business and finance today. Advanced Auto Parts stocks surged 57% on Thursday. Yes, 57% after the company announced it's sticking to its full-year forecast, despite concerns over tariffs and pricing pressure. It's a rare boost in a market that's been more cautious lately. Next, Walmart is trimming about 1,500 corporate jobs, saying it wants to streamline operations and speed up decision-making. As the largest private employer in the U.S., any shakeup there tends to ripple across the business world, though Walmart says the cuts won't affect store-level jobs. Home sales in April hit a major slowdown, marking the lowest pace for the month since 2009. The culprit? High mortgage rates and low consumer confidence, which continue to keep many potential buyers on the sidelines. And in some much lighter news, Universal Resorts in Orlando officially opened its new Epic Universe theme park on Thursday. The park features fully immersive lands from Harry Potter, Super Mario, How to Train Your Dragon, and so much more. It's one of the biggest theme park expansions in years and is expected to be a major tourism draw heading into the summer. Let's take a quick look at how the markets wrapped up on Thursday. The Nasdaq ticked up about 0.3% thanks to gains in tech stocks. The S&P 500 was basically flat, just down a hair. And the Dow? It didn't really move at all, just barely in the red. Bitcoin keeps climbing up about 1.5% and sitting around $111,000, which is pretty wild considering where it was just a few months ago. And gold dipped slightly, down about 0.5%, but still hanging around $3,290 per ounce. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just earned the NBA's top honor. He's been named the 2025 Most Valuable Player in the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder guard had a standout season, and the award now makes him eligible for a record-setting $380 million contract next offseason, which would be the largest in NBA history. After 23 years on air, ESPN is airing its final episode of Around the Horn today. The panel-style show, known for its fast-paced debates and iconic mute button, don't worry, I won't press it here, was abruptly canceled this week. It's one of the longest-running programs in sports TV history, and its final episode is expected to include a tribute to longtime host Tony Reali and the show's rotating cast of sports writers. In the NFL, Indianapolis Colts owner and CEO Jim Irsay has passed away at the age of 65. Irsay was at the helm during the team's Super Bowl victory in 2007 and played a major role in shaping the modern Colts franchise. Tributes have been pouring in from across the league. And in college golf, Northwestern University's women's team pulled off a massive upset, taking down Stanford to win their first ever national championship. Stanford had been dominant throughout the tournament, winning the previous round by 21 strokes, but Northwestern came storming back in the final round to clinch the title. Congrats. Let's take a look at what's new in science and tech. A new study suggests that verbal fluency, specifically how many animals or S words you can name in 90 seconds, may predict longevity in older adults, better than memory or overall intelligence. Researchers say it's a quick, low-cost way to gauge brain health and could be used more widely in aging assessments. Okay, monkey, dog, cat, squirrel. I'm already doing bad. Melania Trump is making headlines in the AI world, releasing an AI-narrated version of her memoir using voice cloning technology from 11 Labs. The audiobook replicates her voice and offers narration in multiple languages, including Spanish, Hindi, and Portuguese. It's one of the most high-profile uses of AI voice tech in publishing so far. And in a futuristic breakthrough, scientists in China, this is crazy, have created night vision contact lenses. The lenses work by converting near-infrared light into visible light, allowing the wearer to see in the dark with no goggles or batteries required. The tech is still early in the stages, but it could be eventually used in security, military, or maybe just your own personal usage, but probably medical applications as well. It's Friday, so let's dive into what's buzzing in entertainment. Netflix has released its list of most watched shows ever, and at the top, no surprise for me, it's Squid Game Season 1 with over 265 million views in its first 91 days. Raise your hand if you were one of those people. I am raising my hand. Close behind is the series Wednesday, starring Jenna Ortega, with 252 million views. I also saw that one. The streaming giant rarely reveals this kind of data, so it's a big moment for pop culture scorekeeping. In a real-life twist that sounds straight out of a spy thriller, former CIA disguised chief Jonah Mendez says those hyper-realistic masks that you see in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, they're not just Hollywood magic. According to Mendez, the agency really has used masks that lifelike, designed for operatives to walk past people they know without being recognized. That's pretty crazy. Coming up, the penny's days are officially numbered. Trump just took a virtual swing at Bruce Springsteen, and we've got a new poll that might expose who really runs your group chat. Plus, are you hitting the road this Memorial Day? All that's coming right up. And finally, let's wrap with a few stories from the weird, nostalgic, and just plain unexpected corners of the news. The U.S. Treasury has officially placed its final order for penny blanks, signaling the start of the phase-out of the 1-cent coin after more than 200 years in circulation. Rising production costs and dwindling use have made the penny more symbolic than practical, and it looks like its days are officially numbered. That actually makes me sad. I'm sorry. I'm going to just say that. I love coins. Meanwhile, Pac-Man turns 45 today, and the celebration is in full retro swing. There's a limited edition Pac-Man donut collection at Krispy Kreme, and even an official Pac-Man cookbook for fans looking to eat like it's 1980. In tech and relationship news, a new survey shows that a majority of Gen Z would consider marrying an AI partner, with 83% saying they believe they could form a deep emotional bond with an artificial companion. Whether that sounds futuristic or a little dystopian probably depends on your generation, I guess. I think it's just a little crazy. And finally, President Trump reignited his feud with Bruce Springsteen by posting an altered video of himself hitting the rock star with a golf ball. It's the latest in a series of social media jabs between the president and the boss, and proof that political memes, I guess, are still alive and well. Here's yesterday's poll question. Who are the members of your group chat messages? 43% said family, 26% all of the above, 18% said friends, 9% said other, and 4% said coworkers. I agree with all those numbers. But you guys, here is the poll question for today. And please make your vote count by heading to today's email edition. If you're not a subscriber, it takes 2 seconds. All you have to do is go to jointheflyover.com. That's it. Here's the question. Are you traveling this Memorial Day weekend? Yes, no, or only to my backyard? I'm actually staying home this weekend except for my Sunday night. My husband and I are singers, so we have a show together on Sunday. And actually, if you want to check out my patriotic album called Heroes in Hometowns, I would love that very much. In fact, it is a perfect album to listen to this Memorial Day weekend. As your weekend host, by the way, Amy Hess will read the answers to this poll in tomorrow's show. It's time for trivia. Here's the question. What do you call a group of porcupines? The answer is, this is so cute, a prickle, which honestly feels pretty perfect. They're not exactly the cuddliest crowd, and while porcupines usually keep to themselves, when they do gather, usually for love or survival, it's one sharp little party. Kind of like today's news. That is all for today's episode of The Flyover. I'm Ayla Brown. Thanks for making us part of your day. And as we head into Memorial Day weekend, we hope you take some time to relax, reflect, and honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Whether you're traveling, grilling, or just enjoying the extra day off, stay safe. The email Flyover edition will still land in your inbox every morning this weekend, and we will be here delivering the top headlines of the day with the podcast. Thanks for flying with us.